The district season has ended in girls softball and the playoffs are approaching. That means it's a perfect time to catch up on the action in the MISD. Hello and welcome to Sports Talk. I'm Tyler Sloan. McKinney Boyd found themselves in a tight three-way battle for the District 10-5A crown all season long. Coach Mo Fritz joins us to tell us how her team won the district title in the last game of the regular season. McKinney North were not the district champs in 13-4A, but an 11-2 district record gave them second place and plenty of confidence heading into the postseason, as Coach Dan Sedgwick will explain in just a moment. McKinney High fell just short, a game short in fact, of making the playoffs this year, but their coach Terry Drains has plenty of positives heading into next season. So stick around and slide into our softball edition of Sports Talk. I'm here with head coach Terry Drains of McKinney High Lions for girls softball. And coach, you were just one game short of making the playoffs, and it came down to potential to play your way into a play-in game with Plano in the last game of the season again, and you had to play McKinney Boyd to try and get to that first, and you had to beat them, and they ended up being the district champs in a 12-inning affair that you just came up with one run short. And tell me about, both the positives of being so close throughout a crazy game and also, obviously the, emotional disappointment in the end.
Well, the positives coming from, the season that we had, when you look at our line, our score line and our wins and losses, you wouldn't figure the team that we had is one that was one game away potentially from going to the playoffs, especially in this district. But this is a team that, they have fought hard. They've had so many things, so much adversity through the season that they've had to fight through, and so many things that people don't, outside of our team, have no idea what they've had to fight through. But if they knew the things that they've overcome to get to that situation, they'd be amazed that they were even able to come that far from 0-4 down in the first half of district to one game away. And that Boyd game was probably one of the best games I had ever seen in my entire life as far as softball is concerned. 12-inning affair. They went up early 2-0 on us. Next inning, next at bat, we come up and score 2 runs on them. So 2-2, and who would have thought, especially in that situation, that 12 innings later, we had our opportunities to score, but unfortunately, in the game of softball, it's a game of inches, and we just weren't able to take advantage of those inches, and they were, and we just came one game short, and the girls were. They were obviously devastated. I mean, they were seriously devastated. But I told them after the game, I've never been more proud of a team than I am this year, including the one that went, 3 rounds deep in the playoffs last year. I was, extremely proud of them, of everything that they've overcome to get to that situation. And I know they were just absolutely devastated because they were working hard and fought hard for each other, and they wanted to continue. And they were not ready for it to end then, and neither was I. But that's just the way things goes. And we have a lot to build on next year for next season.
They did so much just to get to that point. As you mentioned, they started 0-4 in district play, so you're dead last in the district. And then to come back and finish 4-2 in your last 6 games, pretty incredible, especially with the amount of talent that's in this district with the Plano schools and McKinney Boyd. Obviously, they won the district championship. It just says a lot about the character of your team.
Yes. Yeah. So much so, like it's one of those things that we went through those struggles, and we were a period we were really down, and we didn't know what we were going to do next, and we finally just sat down and said, let's just play softball like how to play softball. Just relax, play the game, forget about so much about the mechanics and what's going to happen. Let's just relax, let's play softball like how to play. And they finally they went out there and just they had fun, and they were just playing the game, and it showed. And one other area was Chelsea Thomas and her pitching. She was having some struggles at the front, not herself, but through team effort and things of that nature were struggling. And then she came around, and she's, like I said, she's the type of player that's always going to work at something when she thinks she's struggling, which she doesn't, but she's going to try to find something to fine tune, and she made some fine tuning in her pitching, and I mean it showed in the second half of district. it really came about, and that put a lift in everybody, and defense was finally, backing her up a little bit, and we just started going and having fun.
That really showed. She had an exceptional April. She was the player of the week in the Dallas Morning News for her performance in the first week of April. And not only does she get it done in the circle with her pitching ability, but she's really that double threat because she can, use the pop of her bat, hit two home runs in a game.
Oh yeah, against Plano East it was 2 home runs, and that's the hitter we knew we've always had, and it's always been there. It's just one of those things that anytime she's going to be. Ball's going to pop, but she's also an average hitter. She was leading our team in average and on base percentage. So it's not just one of those things where she's just a home run hitter. We like that out of her, but she was also one that I knew I never had to worry when she was up the plate that she was going to do something to either move the runner or get on base and help the team out.
She's going to have one more year here at McKinney High. She's going to be a senior next year, and it's going to be a big year for her and your team. And not only is she a senior, but she's already proven to be a leader on the field. She's one of the top hitters. She's your pitcher in the circle. So how does that leadership going to help the team next year?
Oh, it's going to be huge because we're losing 4 seniors already, and so having her as somebody that's been a starter since her first day on the team is going to be huge for somebody to come look at, especially in that situation, because your pitcher is somebody, whether they like it or not, they're thrust into that leadership role, and how they are on the field usually can lead to what the team does. And so she's always done a great job on the field and in the circle, that no matter what the situation was, she wouldn't get rattled. You wouldn't see her rattled in the circle, and I think that helps the team out quite a bit. And I know that's going to help her out when she goes and plays the next level after she graduates. So, and I know the coaches see that in her, and they're looking forward to that. So it definitely helps going into next year.
And the nice thing about softball and having a solid pitcher is you don't have to worry about a bullpen like you do in baseball, or have to worry about multiple starters putting in. You can toss her out every game, which you pretty much did for most of the year.
For the most of the year, outside of early on in tournament play, you don't really like to do that. Unfortunately, this year I didn't. My backup pitcher, who I wanted to be able to throw, was Ashley Carlton, who was a freshman, but she was having some wrist problems from an injury from volleyball, and so I wasn't able to throw her as much as I'd like. And then April Rousey, our third baseman, is somebody who we'd throw in pitching. And unfortunately, in tournament play, I would probably utilize Chelsea way too much, and it showed a little bit. She started wearing down, and it happens with pitchers. And so next year we're looking at hopefully Ashley will be able to come in and help out a little bit. And you never know, we might have somebody coming in, moving in, or what have you, that's able to step in as well to give Chelsea a little break in the pitching circle and play a little third base, which is more of what she's going to be probably playing in college anyway. But I'm not, she's still our number one. She's our ace, and she always will be our ace until she graduates. So hopefully she will get a little more workout in the summer and come back and be firing away starting next season.
And you got Ashley back towards the end of the season from that injury, and she had a great game against Plano where she's listed as having 3 triples in one game. Talk about how that helped to energize the team.
Oh, it was huge, especially in the Plano game, because we were in a situation where we'd just beaten Boyd, and so we're going back in the first half of district, so we had a little bit of momentum going into us. But playing Boyd the first time, they kind of stuck it to us a little bit, so we were looking to to at least stay competitive with them, and then to have her step in, especially being in the 2-hole, as a freshman, and her first hit was about 3 feet from getting over the fence, and so that that's a big lift, especially to a team. And we always said the hitting is contagious, and so that point right there just was a consistent thing that everybody kept building on that, and we took care of business with Plano, and it kind of led us into the rest of the second half of district.
Chrissy Fontias is a multi-sport athlete, and it took her a little bit after coming in from basketball to really get into the rhythm hitting with softball, but once she got in a rhythm, she was explosive.
She was exciting. I mean, she's another one like Chelsea. When she gets in the box, something's going to happen. You don't know if it's going to be a double, a triple, or a single, a walk, but very rarely was she going to be walking back to the dugout with her her bat dragging behind her, because she was always exciting to watch. She was very patient at the plate. She was always waiting. She knew what pitch she wanted to hit, and she waited for it. If it wasn't it, she was going to foul it off or watch the balls, and she was patient, and it showed, because she also hit a home run during that Plano East game, which was her first, and it was just alive. In the Boyd game, she hit one down the line that helped out the team. So, it was, you always knew that you were secure in knowing that if you're in the box, if somebody's on base, they were probably going to score, or they definitely were going to be moved.
You have 4 seniors that are graduating from the school: Courtney, Derek, Destiny Dow, Emily Mars, and April Rousey, and a couple of them are going on to play softball and continue in the future.
Yes, Emily Mars is going to be playing at Mary Hardin Baylor, which she's always wanted to do, and then Courtney Derrick's going to play at Harding University, which is an exciting thing because she didn't really decide until this year that she really wanted to go on and play at the next level, but she decided that she got excited about softball again, and it showed with her play this year. She in the box, we moved her up to the 1 hole, which she really wasn't comfortable with, but once she had some reps at it and got comfortable, she owned it. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better 1 hole hitter. She being left-handed, she could hit left-handed well, she could slap, she could drag, she could do just about anything, and so she was another one that she very rarely was she going to be walking back to the dugout. She was going to be either put into play or base hit, and sometimes more often than not an extra base hit. And she's great at the outfield. She had to move around a couple of times because some things that we had injuries and stuff we had to move around from the outfielder, so she went from center to left, but eventually stuck her in left. Kept her in center because she's got the better range and the arm to play there. So, and once she was there and stuck there, she was comfortable and just she's a great leader as well.
You do lose some talent, but you also have a lot coming back. And with the finish that you had going 4-2 down the stretch in district, going into next season, knowing that you split with every team in the district except for Plano West, which you had close games with them as well, that really is going to build the confidence for being able to get that at least 1 extra game to be able to not only maybe get in the playoffs, but get that 3rd, 2, maybe even the 1 seed.
Oh, most definitely. We don't have a doubt that we are the competitive and probably one of the best teams in that district, and to the 4th spot, come from where we were to where we're good. We were going to be happy with getting that 4th spot. But that's definitely not going to be something we're going to be looking for next year. Next year, we're looking for that top spot, and we definitely know we have the talent. We do have some spots we have to fill, but we don't see a problem with filling those spots with what we have on the JV level. And again, you never know what's going to come in as freshmen next year. So we know we're going to be just fine. There's not going to be a hiccup or a loss of anything. We're going to take from where we were and jump right in and go from there.
Well, Coach Strains, congratulations on a good year for McKinney High softball and definitely a good future ahead of you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
For McKinney High, really the story for their softball season was not the fact that they were 1 game out of the playoffs, but the fact that they started 0-4 in the district and had enough fight to get all the way back to having that chance, and it took an exceptional performance from Boyd to keep them out for a chance to get in the playoffs, and they definitely have a lot of players coming back to make some noise next year.